Hatred. An extremely strong feeling of dislike. He looked at me with hatred. Havoc. Confusion and lack of order that result in damage or trouble. The volcano inflicted havoc upon the tiny village. Heavyweight. Someone who has a lot of power in a particular business or activity. Her extraordinary intelligence and speaking ability made her a political heavyweight. Hectic. Full of activity, or very busy and fast. Since I have a lot to do this week, my schedule is going to be very hectic. Hector. To intimidate or harass by bluster or personal pressure. I am sure that we should seek to persuade, not just hector and lecture. Hedonist. A person who is devoted to the pursuit of pleasure. Although people call him a hedonist, he is really the type of person who cares about pleasing others. Heed. To pay attention to something, especially advice or a warning. The shopping complex has been criticized for failing to heed warnings about lack of safety routines. Hegemony. The position of being the strongest and most powerful and therefore able to control others. The president of the company has hegemony over his employees. Heliocentric. Referred to or measured from the sun's center or appearing as if seen from it. According to heliocentric theory, the sun is the center of everything in the universe. Helmsman. A person who directs a ship or boat, using a handle or wheel. The helmsman warned them that they were approaching another shore. Hemorrhage. To lose large amounts of something such as money over a period of time and be unable to stop this happening. The car accident caused him to hemorrhage internally. Herald. To announce or signal that something is approaching. The trade agreement heralded a new era of economic development. Herbivore. An animal that eats only plants. As an herbivore, the giraffe has teeth that are broad and capable of chewing tough plants. Heretical. Opposite to or against the official or popular opinion, or showing no respect for the official opinion. Such a heretical view would have been unthinkable a couple of years ago. Heretofore. Before this point in time, the investment has produced amazing profits that were heretofore unimaginable. Hermetic. So tightly closed that no air can leave or enter. A hermetic seal is used on this glass bottle. Heterodox. Different to and opposing generally accepted beliefs or standards. The Church will excommunicate anyone who preaches heterodox beliefs. Heuristic. Allowing students to learn by discovering things themselves and learning from their own experiences rather than by telling them things. The purpose of the heuristic class is to teach people through personal trials. Hew. To cut a large piece out of rock, stone, or another hard material in a rough way. Since my mother cannot hew wood for her fireplace, I visit her once a week to fill her wood bin. Hibernate. To spend the winter sleeping. The bear continued to hibernate all winter long, snoozing deep inside the cave. Hidebound. Having fixed opinions and ways of doing things and not willing to change or be influenced, especially by new or modern ideas. The hidebound politician refused to change his position on the bill. Hieroglyphic. Writing that uses hieroglyphs. The writings of the ancient Egyptians was almost entirely hieroglyphic, based on pictures and drawings. High-handed. Using power or authority more forcefully than is needed, without thinking about the feelings or wishes of other people. The high-handed king ruled with an iron fist, never allowing his citizens to have any freedom. Hilarious. Extremely amusing and causing a lot of laughter. Even though her brothers think it's hilarious, she doesn't like watching the funny home video show. Hinder. To limit the ability of someone to do something, or to limit the development of something. If you do not rest enough, you will actually hinder your workout progress. Hinterland. A region in the middle part of a country, especially a large country, that is far from cities or the coast. As the sun set, animals moved away from the coast and into the distant hinterland. Hirsute. Having a lot of hair, especially on the face or body. The hirsute teenager was warned that he would be expelled from school if he did not take a haircut and pay attention to his grooming. Histrionic. Showing a lot of emotion in order to persuade others or attract attention. The widow's histrionic screaming made the detectives suspicious. Hoard. To collect large amounts of something and keep it for yourself, often in a secret place. He loves to hoard earnings because he is a penny pincher. Hoary. Very old and familiar and therefore not interesting or funny. The Hoary house was built in the 18th century and is now part of a museum. Hobble. To walk in an awkward way, usually because the feet or legs are injured. After falling and hurting her ankle badly, the volleyball player had to hobble over to a bench. Hodgepodge. A confused mixture of different things. When I opened the junk drawer in the kitchen, there was a hodgepodge of tools, utensils, medicines and food in there. Homage. An expression of great respect and honor. As a sign of homage for the late president, government flags will be flown half-mast today. Homeostasis. The ability or tendency of a living organism, cell, or group to keep the conditions inside it the same despite any changes in the conditions around it, or the state of internal balance. Homeostasis keeps the body's temperature regulated at an average temperature of 98.6 degrees. Homily. A piece of spoken or written advice about how someone should behave. For the past 10 years, our priest has read the same homily on Easter Sunday. Homogeneous. Consisting of parts or people that are similar to each other or are of the same type. The population of the village has remained remarkably homogeneous. Honorary. Given as a reward, without qualifying in a standard way. She received an honorary doctorate from Oxford University in recognition of her work for the poverty. Hoodwink. To deceive or trick someone. After the hurricane, many dishonest individuals tried to hoodwink generous people into donating to fake charities. Hortatory. Trying to strongly encourage or persuade someone to do something. Since the president's speech about the economy wasn't very hortatory, people had little reason to be hopeful about their finances. Hotly. Closely and with determination. The bank hotly denies any wrongdoings. Hubris. An extreme and unreasonable feeling of pride and confidence in yourself. Hubris brought him down in the end. Humble. Not proud or not believing that you are important. After 20 years as a humble worker, he finally got the opportunity to lead the division. Humdrum. Lacking excitement and interest. An exciting vacation would give me time away from my humdrum job. Humility. The feeling or attitude that you have no special importance that makes you better than other. During her speech, Jennifer showed her humility by acknowledging her film crew as the team who deserved the trophy. Husband. To use something carefully so that you do not use all of it. She husbanded their financial resources through difficult times. Hyperbole. A way of speaking or writing that makes someone or something sound bigger, better, more, etc. than they are. During the hurricane, it seemed as though the hyperbole, raining cats and dogs, was almost accurate. Hypocrisy. Pretending to be what you are not, or pretending to believe something that you do not. Students protested that the rule about a ban on cell phones in school was just a bunch of hypocrisy because teachers were always using their cell phones. Hypocrite. Someone who says they have particular moral beliefs but behaves in a way that shows these are not sincere. He is a hypocrite and never exerts himself to help anyone. Hypotenuse. The longest side of any triangle that has one angle of 90 degrees. Using the Pythagorean theorem, the mathematician was able to find the triangle's hypotenuse as well as its shorter sides. Hysteria. Extreme fear, excitement, anger, etc. that cannot be controlled. The hostages were in a state of hysteria when they were rescued by the police. Iconoclast. A person who strongly opposes generally accepted beliefs and traditions. The successful entrepreneur is an iconoclast who is not afraid to introduce something new to the market. Ideological. Based on or relating to a particular set of ideas or beliefs. Due to the criminal's ideological perspective that he is always right, the criminal would hurt people if they disagreed with him. Idiosyncratic. Having strange or unusual habits, ways of behaving, or features. The strange bird let out a high-pitched sound that is idiosyncratic to its species. Idolatry. Very great admiration or respect for someone, often too great. Whenever the dictator ventured out in public, he insisted upon idolatry from his people. Idle. A very happy, peaceful, and simple situation or period of time, especially in the countryside, or piece of music, literature, etc. that describes this. Every year thousands of people flee the big cities in search of the rural idyll. Igneous. Describes rocks made from magma that has cooled and become solid. After the volcano erupted and lava covered the ground, many igneous rocks were created. Ignoble. Morally bad and making you feel ashamed. During his speech, the district attorney promised to rid the city of ignoble police officers guilty of abusing their power. Ignominious. Embarrassing because of being a complete failure. The basketball player's downfall was caused by his ignominious steroid use. Ignorant. Not having enough knowledge, understanding, or information about something. Rich Americans are often ignorant to the reality of the lives of those living in poverty in the U.S. Illiberal. Limiting freedom of expression, thought, behavior, etc. His views are markedly illiberal. Illicit. Illegal or disapproved of by society. I dumped my boyfriend because of his illicit drug habit. Imbroglio. An unwanted, difficult, and confusing situation, full of trouble and problems. In the senior dormitory, the resident assistant is currently dealing with an imbroglio between two students who both claimed the other is stealing her shoes. Imbue. To fill something or someone with a quality or feeling. He managed to imbue his employees with team spirit. Imminent. Present as a natural and permanent part of something. Hope seems imminent in human nature. Immaterial. Not important, or not relating to the subject you are thinking about. The judge told the jury to disregard the testimony because it was immaterial to the trial. Immature. Not yet completely grown or developed. A human is immature for many years, having to go through nearly 2 decades of development before becoming an adult. Imminent. Coming or likely to happen very soon. When the Secret Service arrived, everyone knew the president's arrival was imminent. Immolate. To offer in sacrifice. Millions of people were immolated in World War I. Immunodeficiency. A condition in which a body is unable to produce enough antibodies to fight bacteria and viruses, often resulting in infection and disease. The association of this infection with immunodeficiency and its pathogenicity for patients need to be investigated further. Immutable. Not changing, or unable to be changed. There are no laws that are immutable because we can vote for change in our country. Impair. To spoil something or make it weaker so that it is less effective. Emotions can sometimes impair your ability to reason properly. Impasse. A situation in which progress is impossible, especially because the people involved cannot agree. Yesterday, the two parties did not make any progress on the contract terms because they had reached an impasse. Impassive. Not showing or feeling any emotion. Even though it was very exciting, John delivered the news in an impassive voice in the hope that everyone would stay calm. Impeccable. Perfect with no problems or bad parts. Your impeccable work ethic and great attention to detail are reasons enough for promoting you. Impecunious. Having very little money. I first knew him as an impecunious student living in a tiny apartment. Impede. To make it more difficult for something to happen or more difficult for someone to do something. If you do not eat while you are sick, the lack of nutrients will impede your recovery. Impediment. Something that makes progress or movement difficult or impossible. My broken wrist is the impediment preventing me from finishing my new novel. Imperative. Extremely important or urgent. If you're serious about getting healthy, it's imperative that you follow a healthy lifestyle, make the right food choices, and exercise regularly. Imperious. Unpleasantly proud and expecting to be obeyed. In an imperious tone, the police officer ordered the driver to step out of the car. Impermeable. Not allowing liquid or gas to go through. Impermeable glass was used in the picture frame to keep moisture from the photo. Impertinent. rude and not showing respect, especially towards someone older or in a higher position than you. Because the young man would only give an impertinent answer to his questions, the attorney decided not to take him on as a client. Imperturbable, staying calm and controlled despite problems or difficulties. The imperturbable actress carried on with her performance even when her co-star forgot his lines. Impervious, not allowing liquid to go through, or not able to be influenced, hurt, or damaged. Rubber boots are impervious to water. Impetuous, acting or done suddenly without much thought. We made an impetuous decision to go swimming in the lake in December. Impetus, a force that encourages a particular action or makes it more energetic or effective. Because the new president was once a military commander, he has a great deal of experience being an impetus for change. Impinge, to have an effect on something, often by limiting it in some way. Hopefully the bad weather will move in a different direction and not impinge upon our plans for an outdoor reception. Impious, showing no respect, especially for God or religion. His lack of protocol in the church caused him to gain a reputation for being impious. Implacable, unable to be changed, satisfied, or stopped. The government faces implacable opposition on the issue of chemical waste. Implausible, difficult to believe, or unlikely. The drug manufacturer was fined for making implausible claims about its weight loss products. Implicit, suggested but not communicated directly. Although you never stated I could use your car, your permission was implicit when you handed me your car keys. Implode, to fail suddenly and completely and be unable to operate. When contracts for the new bridge were being negotiated, the American steel industry imploded. Impertinent, repeatedly asking for something, in a forceful and annoying way. As soon as you become rich, you can expect to come into contact with many importunate people who will do nothing but demand things of you. Impotent, lacking the power or ability to change or improve a situation. They were virtually impotent against the power of the large companies. Impoverish, to make something weaker or worse in quality. The new law is likely to further impoverish single parents. Imprecation, curse. The witch muttered an imprecation at the man who mistreated her. Impregnable, powerful and impossible to beat. Despite our squad's best efforts, we could not win the game against the impregnable team. Impromptu, done or said without earlier planning or preparation. I'm not sure how many people will be able to attend the impromptu party. Impugn, to cause people to doubt someone's character, qualities, or reputation by criticizing them. The mayor leaked the political scandal to the media to impugn his opponent's character. Impunity, freedom from punishment or from the unpleasant results of something that has been done. Despite the heinous nature of the crimes they committed, the old men received impunity from the court because of their ages. Impute, to lay the responsibility or blame for something, often falsely or unjustly. When my daughter received a failing grade in her math class, she attempted to impute her instructor's teaching skills.